Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So 35-year-old Texas resident Ryan Zink sent a Facebook message on November 3rd of 2020, and it sounded kind of like a to-do list. It said, quote, say prayers, go vote, clean guns, lock and load, say prayers, make bug out bag, say prayers, be aware of your surroundings, hold fast. Zink sent another Facebook message on December 5th saying, quote, check the sources if you don't believe it. Open your eyes and kiss your freedom goodbye if Biden wins. Lick and load, as Biden would say. Lock and load if you're with me. Can I get a yee? Oh, so much missing. Anyway, then on December 19th, after Donald Trump sent his infamous tweet encouraging his followers to be there will be wild, Zink sent the following Facebook message, quote, the Pentagon has haunted all contact with the Biden administration. I think he meant to say halted. But I thought he was the office of the president-elect, spokesperson you. Can you smell what the Trump is cooking now, Sleepy Joe? Wake up, everyone. Here's your wake-up call. Boom, boom, boom. Shots fired. Hashtag fuck Zuck. Hashtag fuck CNN. Hashtag fuck Biden. Delete me. I don't care. On January 6th, Zink traveled to D.C. with his father. They tried to attend Trump's speech at the Ellipse, but Zink was denied entry because he was carrying a backpack. So he and his father just headed straight to the Capitol, and Zink was recording as they arrived, and everything that was going on around him he captured on video. So Zink's video showed the fencing surrounding the Capitol, and you could clearly see the area closed signs attached. He continued to record. They moved over to another area that was also surrounding the restricted grounds. And Zink talked about how lawmakers were planning to challenge the electoral votes. And, they were going to be counted that day. And so the prosecutor pointed out that this showed he was well aware of the work that was being conducted in the Capitol and why the vice president and members of Congress were present that day. Zink stood watching. He was taking photos as Trump's terrorists were assaulting officers. They were breaking through barricades. Then Zink followed them onto the restricted grounds. And as he entered the East Plaza, Zink was live streaming a selfie kind of video. And he said in this video, you could see and hear him say, quote, or he was yelling it actually, quote, we knocked down the gates. We're storming the Capitol. You can't stop us. So when he and others reached a set of the Capitol steps, Zink was standing there chanting, we want Trump. And he encouraged his Facebook live stream audience to, quote, get to their capitals, meaning the capitals in their particular states. He then turned the camera back to himself and he said, quote, we're about to bum rush this shit. So a short time later, the mob broke through the police line on the stairs. They rushed toward the building. Zink followed them. He stood outside and he was recording and taking photos of the crowd. They were repeatedly trying to breach the rotunda doors from the outside. And then other people were fighting with the police, pushing the doors open from the inside, as I've mentioned before. In fact, at one point, Zink climbed onto the base of this massive concrete column because he wanted to get better shots of the action. So he knew what was going down. Eventually, he left the Capitol grounds. Later that night, he sent someone a message and he said that Congress had been, quote, pushed out of session and, quote, job was accomplished. The following day, he posted on social media, quote, the time for rioting is over. Better clean those guns and invest in some level 4 armor. Then on January 8th, Zink sent a message to someone on social media and he said, quote, they are trying to charge us with sedition. They will have to kill me. I'm not coming quietly. That same day, he sent another social media message saying, quote, "Everyone should have been here. We need more people. It should have been a bigger message." Zink was also interviewed on a right-wing show, or actually multiple shows online, and he completely misstated the facts of what he saw. He told the host that he and others were waved through the barricades by the police. Not true. He claimed that the police weren't even guarding the east side of the building. Remember, this is the same guy who said in his live stream that they broke down the gates and were storming the Capitol and you can't stop us. He also, remember, said, "We're about to bum rush this shit." But yeah, they opened the gates for you, guy. In another interview, Zink insinuated that there was some hidden, unknown reason why members of Congress were rushed out of the Capitol on January 6th, and it had nothing to do with Trump's terrorists. So Zink was arrested on February 4th of 2021, and he was charged with obstructing an official proceeding, entering a restricted building or grounds, and disorderly conduct on restricted grounds. Zink refused a plea deal. He opted for a jury trial, and the prosecutor laid out a whole list of false statements that he made under oath. So this one was my favorite. Zink tried to convince the jury he's not political. He's not a political guy. He doesn't follow either side. Of course, his own social media posts, his private messages, the video evidence completely refuted that testimony. And in September of 2023, Zink was found guilty on all counts. The obstruction conviction, as you all know, that was thrown out. The Supreme Court made an asinine decision that that charge only applies in cases where there's a physical document involved, which is just a joke. So based on the remaining two misdemeanors, Zink faced a combined 2 years in prison, 2 years of probation, and $200,000 in fines. This time, the government asked for the full prison sentence. They requested 2 years behind bars, 1 year of probation, $500 in restitution, and a fine of $12,179. So that fine represents the amount of money that he collected on his Give, Send, Go donation page. And check this out. The prosecutor wrote that Zink was raising donations by, quote, falsely claiming that he was a congressional media campaign staffer that was waved through the barricades by police, and that he, quote, lost his business, was forced to move, and now can no longer finish school because of his arrest. In truth, Zink last attended college in 2012, and he withdrew because he didn't like it. Such honest and ethical Trump supporters, right? As I've said before, your vibe attracts your tribe. So the prosecutor went for the full prison term in part because he continued to minimize his actions and because he kept spreading misinformation about the trial, the treatment of the January 6 defendants. And even after he was convicted, he continued to appear on alt-right shows, and he even launched an unsuccessful bid for Congress. And all with the theme that January 6 defendants and convicts are political prisoners. So on one show, this is after his conviction, Zink claimed with zero evidence that the FBI had accused him of killing a police officer. I mean, really? You would have been charged with attempted murder or murder. I mean, this guy has such an imagination. Of course, speaking of which, he blamed Antifa for the violence at the Capitol. So yeah, I mean, just your typical MAGA man. And yet he claims, oh no, I'm not political. I was just a photographer. I was just there in my official capacity as a photographer. Anyway, U.S. District Judge James Boasberg presided over Zink's case, and he sentenced Zink to only 3 months in prison, 1 year of probation, and $500 in restitution. I'm pretty surprised by this because Boasberg is typically very tough. However, I will say and admit this does fall in line with other sentences for similar January 6 defendants, you know, if they weren't violent. I just think his lack of remorse, the fact that he wasted the court's time and took it to trial, that should have at least earned him another month or two. The good news is by the time Trump takes office, this guy is probably going to be done with his sentence anyway. So it won't matter either way, pretty much. So I will keep you posted. I'll let you know if I hear any more. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.